Hey everyone, Alex from Ford Mustang Garage. Today we're working on our Project Old Blue 65 six-cylinder coupe. Today we're going to be doing a master cylinder, brake master cylinder. I already have the old one removed from there. But today we're going to be doing an upgrade. So in 65 and 66, these Mustangs came with a single bowl master cylinder. Very small reservoir, not much room for air. If you had a brake fluid leak, you would lose all your brake fluid and thus lose all of your brakes. So in 67, Mustang started becoming equipped with dual bowl master cylinders. So today we're going to do an upgrade on this 65 to a dual bowl master cylinder. This is what would have came in a 67 and onward Mustang. So conveniently, if you don't want to build your own brake lines, you can actually get these kits. You can get these from CJ Pony Parts or National Parts Depot. They're made by Classic Tube, and essentially comes with a little brake line kit, 2 lines, a plug, and a union in order to easily adapt your new master cylinder. You can even get a master cylinder from those guys, those distributors as well. But for this application, they didn't have one listed where it's a 4-drum car, 4-drum non-power. So I was able to find a 67 master cylinder at my local parts store. That's for 4 drums, non-power, and so that's what we're going to be installing today. Okay, so first step in replacing your master cylinder, aside from removing your old master cylinder, is to bench bleed your new one. You do not want to forget to bench bleed. There will be air trapped inside of this that you will not be able to bleed out in traditional methods. If you can, it will take you way longer than you will ever anticipate. So this has to be bled before it goes into the car, before you do your traditional bleeding. So to do that, you're going to need a vise or something to hold it with. You're going to need a push rod. You can also use a screwdriver or something that'll just kind of fit in there to push your cylinder. You're going to need your brake lines hooked up. They do make kits where you have like little plastic lines to hook up and then run your tubes. I've used the actual metal lines to make sure those are a good seal, and then I've stretched some clear plastic tubing over that. And then I can kind of watch and make sure there's no bubbles coming through, and that'll be an indication that I'm finished with the bleeding process. So you want to take your time here, because you don't want to have to take this back off the car and do it again. So once I'm all hooked up, I'm going to push the plunger in nice and easy here at first. You're going to see air going through your clear tubes. You want to make sure your tubes are submerged under the brake fluids, that way they're not going to suck up any air. And essentially you just want to do this over and over and over again until there's just no more bubbles going through your lines, nothing bubbling up in the reservoir there. And this is okay to take your time, because you want to do this right the first time. Just so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. See all that air? This is why I like to use the clear tubes, because you can see much better what's going on. And you can get these clear tubes in a master cylinder bleed kit from your local auto parts store. your brake fluid will drop a little bit, so you'll need to add some. And that's essentially all there is to it. You just gotta keep going until there's no more air. Okay guys, so once you have your master cylinder bench bled and you have your old one removed, you're going to be working on your distribution block here. So the supplied kit comes with a plug. Okay, so that plug is going to be for your rear lines. So you're going to find which line is going to the rear. So there's going to be one, and we're going to disconnect that. I'm going to use a 3/8 line wrench to initially break that free. So sometimes this old stuff can be on there pretty tight, so I don't like to round off or strip out stuff. Once it's broke loose, I can move to a regular traditional wrench. And these are 3/8 on these. Okay, now we're installing the plug. Okay, so the rear line we pulled off is going to get the little union fitting. This front line here for the master cylinder is going to be removed. Don't be surprised if these are on there a little tight, because a lot of the cars I work on, they haven't been off before. That's why I like using line wrenches, because sometimes it takes a lot of force to get those to break loose. And I don't like rounding off the heads. I don't like breaking the lines off. And if you notice, I used a 1/2" wrench here on the block because the amount of force I was putting on it was just bending the mounting tab. So you can actually put a wrench on it, kind of hold it in place. And then you can get the torque you need on that sucker. Okay, so now I'm going to get my rear line in place here. And these are going to be different lines, so you want to make sure you get the one for the rear. And just for clarification, on the master cylinder, the front of the master cylinder is for the rear brakes. The port on the rear, or closest to the firewall of the master cylinder, is for the front brakes. So rear brakes, front brakes. And then my front brake line is going to go to the distribution block. Okay, so before you install your master cylinder, you want to make sure you use your original push rod for this. Otherwise, if your new master cylinder comes with one, chances are it's not going to be the same length, and this one that came with the master cylinder was shorter, and thus it's going to make your pedal not come up as high. So use the original push rod if you have it. If not, you can get new ones of these. You can get adjustable ones of these that will work. But if you have it, change the push rod out, use the original, because then you're going to maintain your original pedal height, and you'll still be able to bleed your system properly and everything associated with that. So. Okay, so now that you have this in position, I like to kind of leave it a little bit loose because it's easier to get my brake line started. It's very easy to get those cross-threaded, so I like to leave things kind of a little bit loose so I can wiggle things around. Okay, so once you get your lines all started and everything, you can tighten everything up. The mount on the firewall for the master cylinder and all your line connections, and then you're ready to bleed the system. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this kit that I bought and you may buy is it's not going to be a perfect fit. You will have to kind of bend and massage the lines into place. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but it's going to get you close enough to make this job very simple. So from here, you would move on to the bleeding procedure, as well as connecting your push rod to your brake pedal. Okay, we're inside the car now. We're going to hook up our master cylinder push rod to our brake pedal. So this is fairly simple. So here's your push rod there, and then here's the stud on the brake pedal that it goes on. Hope you can see that. You can flex those over just enough to get it in there. There's also a bushing that goes over that as well. And then your brake switch. Okay. So that's how that goes on, and you're going to have a keeper pin. It goes up through there as well. And that will keep all that together. Plug in your connector for your brake light switch. And now you're ready to bleed. Now you're ready to bleed your brake system. And that essentially is how we do our master cylinder upgrades on our 65 and 66 cars. Very popular upgrade. I highly recommend it. And that will be it for today. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for future classic Mustang content. Thank you.